Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is January 10th, 2023. This is Odessa. Say hi, Odessa. We are reading out of the Old Testament. We are reading Genesis chapter 9, verse 20 to chapter 10, verse 23. You going to read too? Okay. Let me get her down. All right. So where are we at in this story? We are looking at the story of of Noah. He just beached the ark. The rain has subsided, the dry land came out, he opened the ark, let the animals go. He's so happy, so grateful that he sacrifices to God, as a burnt offering to God. And we saw one other burnt offering that was with Cain and Abel, and again, mirrors that one. There's no command by God to do this. It was spontaneous to him to show how grateful he was. And he takes the best that he has, which is one of each of the good animals and all of his animals, and he sacrifices it to God. Sends up a pleasing aroma. So he shows that, hey, God, you're here and I'm here. So he's recognizing that relationship. Now a little bit different here, because we've just had this big catastrophic flood where God said, you know what, there is no good, I'm going to wipe it all out and start over. But he kept the remnant. So in response to that, God is going to say, hey, all right, you know what? Before, we kind of had no rules. It was just, I'm here and you're here, and we kind of winged it from there. But now we're going to have some rules. We're going to have a covenant. And this is set up like a suzerainty treaty, suzerainty contract. If you look that up, essentially that was, in ancient times, you would have a king or a lord or someone with a lot of power, and they would make a contract with the people underneath them. Hey, I am your king. I will take care of you. If there's a famine, I'll give you food. If you got enemies come, I'll fight for them. But you, as my people, you gotta do what I tell you. You gotta pay taxes. So along that line. So this is this covenant that God is going to make with us. I am your God. You'll have no others before me. But here's what you got to do for me. This whole idea that Cain through Lamech seemed to have, that you can kill people and get away with it, that's done. Life is sacred. You kill somebody, you guys need to punish the person that killed somebody. So we start to see some laws and rules start to come out. We're not quite at the commandment stage yet, but God is telling us, hey, this is how I view life. This is how you need to view life if you want to be in that right relationship with me. He also looks at Noah and realizes, okay, I didn't wipe out evil. It's intertwined. All human beings inherently evil. What does that mean? Well, without the influence of God, they're going to go do terrible things. They need God to come to pull them back to rightness. And we see almost as soon as he tells us that, we see that in Noah, because first thing he does after the sacrifice, well, he plants some grapes, he grows the grapes, he stomps the grapes, he makes some wine, drinks a little more wine, drinks a little more wine. Next thing you know, he's passed out naked, drunk. So gluttony, loss of self-control, shamefulness, all those sins we now see coming out of Noah. His son Ham comes in and sees his father passed out drunk. And again, by see doesn't mean he walks in and goes, oh, shoot. He walks in and goes, oh, hey, you're passed out drunk. And then he goes and gets his brother. Hey, come here. You want to see this? But his brothers say, you know what? That's disrespectful to Dad. They get a sheet and they kind of back in and they throw it over him. So there's Ham's guilt. He saw his father in a vulnerable position, and rather than try and help his dad, he did a selfish thing. He thought about himself and how this will lower him and maybe raise me up. Now from Ham we get Canaan. We're going to see a whole bunch of genealogies. All the nations of Canaan descend from Ham. So as we read further along in the Bible, why does God hate those people? Well, that's where it started. We also see Shem. That's where we're going to get the people of Israel. And we're going to see some nations there, Assyria, Babylon. All those nations, not just with Israel, all those nations that God uses seem to come from there. Not necessarily all of them, but we get about 70 groups between the three brothers, and we see all the beginnings of the nations start to form out of it. And that's pretty much where this part of it ends. So let's go ahead and we're going to read Genesis chapter 9, verse 20 to chapter 10, verse 32. And Noah began to be a farmer, and he planted a vineyard. Then he drank of the wine and was drunk. He came uncovered in his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment, laid it on both their shoulders, and went backwards and covered the nakedness of their father. Their faces were turned away, and they did not see their father's nakedness. So Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done to him. Then he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants. He shall be to his brethren. And he said, Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge Japheth, and may he dwell in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. So all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Now this is the genealogy of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Rephath, and Togarmah. The sons of Javan were Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. From these the coastland peoples of the Gentiles were separated into their lands, everyone according to his language, according to their families, into their nations. The sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush were Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Rama, and Sabtachah. And the sons of Rama were Sheba and Dedan. Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one on the earth. He was mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erish, Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. From that land he went to Assyria and built Nineveh, Rehoboth, Ir, Kala, and Resen between Nineveh and Kala. That is the principal city. Mizraim begot Ludim, Anamim, Lehabim, Naphthuim, Parthurusim, and Calhushim, from whom came the Philistines and Caphthorim. Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, the Jebusite, the Amorite, and the Girgashite, the Hivite, the Archite, and the Sinite, the Arvadite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamathite. Afterward, the families of the Canaanites were dispersed, and the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon as you go toward Gerar, as far as Gaza, then as you go toward Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim, as far as Lasha. These were the sons of Ham, according to their families, according to their languages, in their lands and in their nations. And children were born also to Shem, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth and the elder. The sons of Shem were Elam, Esher, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. The sons of Aram were Uz, Hul, Gether, and Mash. Arphaxad begot Salah, and Salah begot Eber. To Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. Joktan begot Almadad, Sheleph, Hazarmaveth, Jerah, Hadoram, Uzal, Dikla, Obal, Abimal, Sheba, Uphar, Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan, and their dwelling place was from Misha as you go toward Sephar, the mountain of the east. These were the sons of Shem, according to their families, according to their languages, and their lands, according to their nations. These were the families of the sons of Noah, according to their generations, in their nations, and from these the nations were divided on the earth after the flood. May God bless the reading of his word, and may God bless you. Bye.